Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I'm Rhoda Ngonzi. Let's take a quick look at our top stories for the night. Chief Justice Batka today inaugurates task force to look into allegations of corruption. Ministry of Health retooling health workers on infection prevention for Ebola. On the international scene, detained Iranian ship released. And in sports, Uganda Open heads to Serena Chico. Hello once more. Mugalu Mohammed joins us on sign language. The Chief Justice Batka today has inaugurated a task force to look into the recent allegations of corruption in the judiciary. The task force will present a report of their findings after 60 days. The judiciary spokesperson Solomon Mwita spoke to UBC TV after the inauguration of the committee at the High Court in Kampala.
It's supposed to work hand in hand with the media. We obtain the clips, the voice recordings, the pictures. We look into them and understand what exactly was taking place. There are people who were trying to take money to solicit for bribes from people. Who are these people? When these people are identified, they'll be invited to interface with the committee. And then the committee will establish whether indeed they were engaged in bribery or corruption. And then whoever is identified, a report will be compiled for the CJ, for the Honorable the Chief Justice, for action. So the Chief Justice will look into the recommendations of the task force and then forward these people to the relevant authorities where they can be punished. Judicial officers are supposed to be punished by the Judicial Service Commission. Non-judicial officers who work in the court are supposed to be forwarded to Public Service Commission. If there are policemen in there, they will be forwarded to police. They have their professional standards unit. And prisons, we will send them there. Where we find that there are just some conmen who come around courts, they are not part of the courts, but they come and engage in acts of corruptions and so on, or extortion. Those people will have to hand them over to the police.
The fuel tanker that caught fire at Chambura in Winyaruguru, Rubirizi district has exploded again as police and the army tried to remove the wreckage. The death toll has risen to 32. The injured are admitted at Kilembe Mine Hospital.
The Sunday evening explosion of the fuel tanker has claimed another toll of lives after one of the fuel compartments exploded. The fuel explosion happened as the army and police were in the process of removing its wreckage. The death toll has risen to close to 30. A 32-year-old Ibrahim Yassin, a son to Bishop Nathan Ibrahim, is among those who perished in the inferno. Victims of the fire have been taken to Rugazi Health Center 4 and Kilembe Mines Hospital.
Out of the two vehicles, we managed to receive 4 anacosias patients, but God's blessing, at least all qualified staffs and standby surgeons were ready in the hospital, and all the patients were anacosias, but the health workers were ready to host them, and they were all admitted.
Kilembe Mines Hospital Administrator Mzee Chibaya Onesimus says they cannot refer the victims now because consultants are still managing them. Minister for General Duties Mary Karoro Okrut visited the scene of the accident.
Here is big. So what happened here is a tragedy, not just for the people here of Rubirizi, but for the entire country. This is a very, very big loss. The president, the prime minister called me, that the president called me, and I was instructed to come here, assess the situation, and give information.
Mutonyi Hilda and Moses Muthabali for UBC.
Health workers from 23 Ebola high-risk districts bordering the Democratic Republic of Congo (DRC) are undergoing training on infection prevention and control. The training aims at enhancing the capacity of handling any likely cases of Ebola while adhering to safety measures.
Uganda is still continuing with the heightened response and preparedness plan for Ebola virus disease since the outbreak was declared a year ago in the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo. Uganda's preparedness plan has seen emphasis being put on screening at border points and community sensitization on Ebola virus disease. Ministry of Health and Japan International Cooperation Agency is retooling health workers from 23 Ebola high-risk districts. The health workers are trained on infection prevention and control by maintaining high levels of hygiene.
5 times per hour. And then she's going at the back. This is better for the back area. And then also in between, because most jams, these areas are kind of hidden. So we are doing that to cover up that area. And then interlacing the fingers, that is to take care of the finger area here in the middle of all. And then the thumb, usually we miss out the thumb because it's away from this four. So we do that to focus on that part also. And then at the back of the fingers, this is this part covering this area. Make sure that all the hand parts are covered, that's the back.
All health workers must adhere to the infection control and prevention to avoid the spread of infectious Ebola disease.
There is no good reason why you should go into a hospital to begin touching patients. We are cautioned to be very infection conscious so that we don't infect ourselves, we don't infect our patients, and we create a comfortable work environment for everyone, including visitors, and you too, when you visit our hospitals. Somebody talked about supplies. Supplies, at times they are there, and once they are there, health workers embrace them the way they are. But once they are not enough, then there are means of getting more supplementary supplies. We have implementing partners who support us even to add on what we have.
The simple technique of hand hygiene, which is often neglected by many healthcare workers, and the good hand hygiene practice, you need to know when to perform, how to perform it, and where to perform it. So when to perform, there is a tool called your 5 moments. That is before touching a patient, before any clean or aseptic procedure, after body fluid exposure risk, after touching the patient, and after touching the patient's surrounding. Those are the 5 moments when you need to perform hand hygiene.
Last month, World Health Organization declared Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo as a public health emergency of international concern. Being a neighbor to DRC, it means Uganda has to heighten the preparedness and response plan. Adiana Kote, UBC.
Uganda police has recognized best achievers who collaborated with it in combating crimes. That's in the year 2018. Yumbe district has taken the lead of professional policing, and the Inspector General of Police, Martin Okotochola, has called upon the public to take part in the operations of community policing.
The police best achievers inaugural ceremony has singled out police stations, districts, and well-wishers contributed to the crime prevention in the year 2018, and Yumbe district emerged the winner in professional policing.
This is a sign that the police-public partnership, which is crucial in fighting crime, is growing from strength to strength, and rewarding performance, which is a yardstick for enhancing professionalism, motivating personnel, and consequently improving service delivery.
The Inspector General of Police, Martin Okotochola, urges to the public to enhance their contribution in the operations of community policing.
And may this honor that you have received serve as an inspiration for you to initiate more programs that will empower the Uganda police and the community to help in promoting peace and order.
Ochola raised some of the challenges affecting the force, and among those include underfunding plus limited human resource.
UPF still has a number of challenges in the execution of this mandate, some of which includes underfunding, capacity gaps in terms of personnel strength and training, welfare, indiscipline by some officers, corrupt practices, and human rights violations.
Leader district performed worst at 23%, and Deputy Spokesperson of Police Pauline Namai encouraged all stakeholders to observe the parameters of keeping law and order.
We can do much more to ensure that we come up with 100%, 99%, so that we can be able to ensure that the parameters which we are looking at are achieved. And these ones include observance of human rights. In particular, we'll look at the 48-hour rule, or ensuring that we don't have over detention. We also look at professional conduct of our personnel, especially when it comes to contact with the public.
Some of the recognized are students of Winterland Primary School, Chebandu, different personalities and specific police officers.
We stipulated that these parameters will guide our decision.
14 motor vehicles and 16 motorcycles and other equipment were unveiled to strengthen policing. Abdul Nasir Luwama reporting.
Jinja West Municipality Member of Parliament Moses Balieku and officials from Jinja District Land Board have been implicated in the fraudulent sale of plot 24 Chabazinga Way to Patel Mangal, an investor. The contested land was first leased to Tirupati Development Limited by Jinja District Land Board and was later re-entered and allocated to private individuals. Let's take a look.
Jinja West Municipality Member of Parliament Moses Balieku has been cited in the fraudulent sale of plot 24 Chabazinga Way in Jinja. According to the Commission, there was abuse of office by Jinja local government officials.
What information we have is that that council took the letter of the minister seriously, and that letter was brought by a politician whom you know very well.
The chairperson, Jinja District Land Board, Innocent Ngobindiko, dismissed the commission when she said the board communicated and took decisions through WhatsApp messages.
But the messages were being delivered?
I got the blue ticks.
Had you paid OTT?
Miss, I got blue ticks.
Okay.
Innocent Ngobi informed the commission that she deliberately failed to meet Honorable Balieku because she sensed something was not right.
That the file belongs to Honorable Balieku, and I was warned that you don't fight Honorable Balieku. If you fight Balieku...
Who told you that?
A board member, Mukembo, told me you don't fight Balieku.
Mukembo.
You don't fight Balieku. This is Balieku's file, let it pass. But I have a name to protect.
So when was that told you?
No, I called him on Monday when I couldn't go because I didn't have. I was told that you don't fight Balieku. If you fight Balieku, you also get destroyed. And that is worrying me. I won't lie to you. Because I won't own up to the fraud because everything that happened was fraudulent. Because I have a name and I have my integrity. I can't.
The commission was informed that the title issued to J. Patel Mangal was forged and that the acting town clerk approved the land without the consent of the council.
Okay.
And even furthermore, my lord, in my minutes on page 7, 3.13 to 3.1, and there are no lines in between. But the minutes I saw that the commission has, they are lines. The ones I signed don't have lines on page 7.
So, are you saying the signature on page 7
is not my signature?
Not yours?
The acting town clerk Jinja Fred Waiswa testified before the commission that he was under pressure from different individuals in the execution of the deal.
Honorable Member of Parliament, who is that? Mr. Balieku Moses. Who else? That was it. The other one, Kawoya, was helping to make a follow-up. Now these people you say were behind the application. Did they speak to you in person?
Yes, the LC5.
What did he tell you?
That I helped the investor to process the application in time. And even the Honorable Balieku also one time invited me, and he was wondering
Invited you to where?
At home, his home.
Okay.
Why I was not processing the application.
What did you tell him?
The commission learned that the town clerk and his group were awarded for the fraudulent land giveaway, which made Fred Waiswa an investor in Jinja.
How much money were you paid to see this transaction through? They only told me that they are going to give me a gift after. Yes, my lord.
You are in the thick of this thing. And actually now that Weshiwa has said it, there is no reason not to believe that these things were discussed in the bar.
The commission faulted the Deputy Town Clerk Geoffrey Waidumba for failure to advise council on legal decisions. However, Waidumba said all the documents presented to the commission were a forgery. So that Kaye, UBC News.
With that, we take a quick break. We return with more details.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Have you completed Senior 4 or Senior 6 and you want to do a 2-year certificate or a diploma course? Makerere Institute for Social Development, an affiliate to Makerere Business School, offers programs in accounting and finance, business administration, procurement and supplies management, social work and social administration, information technology, counseling and guidance, human resource, project planning and management, journalism, secretarial studies, and many others. We are located on Sa Apollo Kegwa Road, next to Oilcom Petrol Station, with a UBTEP Center number.
Activate Airtel Money today and enjoy convenience on payments for all utility bills. That's right, you can pay all your bills from the comfort of your home at any time of the day. To conveniently pay TV subscriptions on Airtel Money, dial *185#, select 4, pay bill, select 3, pay TV, select StarTimes TV, DSTV, GoTV or Azam TV, depending on which bill you want to pay. Enter the StarTimes or GoTV, Azam TV, DSTV, enter the smart card number and follow the prompts to complete payment. Airtel Money, simple, instant, secure.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Nabubi yazimba kumutya muwanvu enkuba yatonya nabubi yakwa
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pain Arena. Introducing on the right corner, Mr. Action, the reigning heavyweight champion in the ring against
the Headache, the #1 contender. And the bell rings.
Headache charges forward with a steady right and a left hook. Action dodges. He misses out with an inch. Wait a minute. Mr. Action launches back with a kick. The final blow. He is out.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Back, you are still watching News Tonight. His Majesty the Kabaka of Uganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, has called on all subjects to focus on development through cooperatives and farming as a development strategy for the kingdom. He was opening the Uganda 27th Luchiko at Bulange, Mengo.
Every year, His Majesty the Kabaka of Uganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, opens the Buganda Luchiko to kickstart the kingdom activities.
Olukiiko lwa Buganda olukulu lutuula, Kabaka n'alambika eggwanga lye ku nsonga enkulu nga bw'aba ayagala zitambuzibwe. Akalombolombo akak'emyaka olwenda ke tuliko ne leero.
At the opening of the 27th Luchiko at Bulange Mengo, His Majesty the Kabaka called for re-establishing and joining cooperatives to improve livelihoods.
Tuddamu okubagamba obukulu bw'obwegassi mu mirimu gyaffe. Era n'okwongera okulima emmwanyi awamu n'ebirime ebirala eby'ettunzi.
The Kabaka also plans to visit different clan heads in the kingdom. This after he visited the clan head seats of Fumbe and Mamba during celebrations to mark his 26th coronation anniversary.
Obutaka gye tutannatuuka tusuubira okugendayo gye bujja awo mu maaso. Era tukubiriza abazzukulu nti bakwatizeeko ku bajjajja baabwe ku nsonga eyo enkulu ey'okuteekateeka okulambula okwo.
Meanwhile, the new Kabaka's ministers and envoys in different counties outside Buganda have paid allegiance to His Majesty. They include Christopher Wanika, the new kingdom's Attorney General and Minister for Local Government, David Chawalabi Male, the new Minister for Tourism and Heritage, and Sheikh Habas Nsubuga, Buganda's representative to United Arab Emirates.
Sabasajja mukama wange neyanza obuweereza obwo era nsaba mukama ankulembere mu buweereza buno nga Katonda ye mubeezi wange. Sabasajja Kabaka ondabiranga ddala.
Earlier on, the Katikkiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, urged the youth to preserve the pride of Buganda Kingdom. The Vice President of Uganda, Edward Kwanuka Sekandi, represented central government alongside other dignitaries who included Kampala Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago, members of parliament, former Buganda premiers and ministers. Bernard Yiga and Idris Lukwago for UBC.
The General Manager, Middle East Consultant Limited, Benon Kunywana, has been arrested for allegedly obtaining 51 million shillings by false pretense. The head State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Lieutenant Colonel Edith Nakalima, handed over Benon and the company's recruitment manager, Owen Ayamba, to police for investigations.
State House Anti-Corruption Unit, working with Ministry of Labour and Criminal Intelligence, 15th July 2019, launched an investigation on the operations of labour exporting companies following public outcry of mistreatment of Ugandans in Arab countries.
The 30 companies are under investigations. 7 are already having a number of cases that are not yet concluded. Police is investigating. 4 companies have been identified to be key in making Ugandans suffer so much.
The General Manager, Middle East Consultant Limited, has been arrested following complaints from 27 people to the unit of extorting money amounting to 51 million shillings.
Out of the premises of Middle East, that I made an interview to journalists, so I should go to journalists and they pay me. kunsamba kunfulumya bweru ne bandekako buno obulabe ng'ate natunda poloti yange.
Wange sente yazeewola mbammanerenda zibazitwa poloti ye bagitwala. They were just smiling at me. Ne bangamba koma ku Friday ne tuddayo, it was the same story. Tetuyina muddeeyo biki batuleetera police obudde obutuuka obotusasula.
Benon Kunywana denied allegations of torture but promised to refund the money by Friday this week.
Madam, I'm not denying them. We gave them part of their money, and as we talk now, we are also going to give them some money, and we are going to clear them on Friday.
Assistant Police Spokesperson, Kampala Metropolitan Luke Oweyesigire, received the suspects to start investigations.
This is a clear case of obtaining money from these people and without fulfilling the service you had promised to them. These victims that have allegations of torture will be subjected, of course, to medical.
I'm Nafka Farida, reporting in Kampala.
Malaria has remained a threat to Acholi sub-region, with leaders appealing to government to recruit more staff to handle rising cases in health centres. Ivan Kawa reports.
Malaria penetration in Acholi sub-region continues to worry health practitioners and leaders, with the admissions rising up to 70% or more.
So many people are positive. Of course, when they come here, we are managing well, but the problem is that drug attesting that the ministry recommends, because we can't go back to quinine. That's where malaria becomes a burden at times, but we are containing it.
You know, we are in a farming community, and in the farming community, the mother will leave the child at home and will go to the garden, will give Panadol. Now when you give that Panadol, the Panadol is not attacking the parasite. So as they bring the child, most of the children, to the facility, the blood has already drained from the child.
So we still urge the government that they should have to increase more funding on the issue of malaria. And if we can continue with the indoor spraying has reduced that thing when they were doing it in our district, has reduced to almost to 15%.
In Omoro district, out of 100 cases reported, 10 test negative. In Padel district, out of 40 cases reported, 2 test negative. In Nwea district, 468 cases are reported daily. Amuro district, 1,000 cases are reported daily. Agago district, penetration is more than 70%.
We look at the weather. The place has become so bushy, and there's a lot of rain, a lot of stagnant water, and mosquitoes has laid eggs everywhere, and that is one reason. And then another reason, I could say some people were not sleeping under mosquito nets.
Whereas our assessment indicates availability of drugs in the Acholi region health centers, understaffing, absenteeism and accommodation is still straining health service delivery.
In primary health care, we are supposed to have the approved structures we are having in Agago. We are supposed to have 500 workers. But right now, the field position is only 267.
So we still have gap in the staffing at the health facilities. You may visit a health facility which is supposed to have 15 staff. You may find they have only 8 or 9 or 10. Then you find there is a gap of 5 or even 7. Now, out of these 9 or 10, you may find 3 have gone back to school. Of course, you cannot deny someone access to education.
To fight the vice of absenteeism, the country is supposed to roll out all the biometrics fingerprint system in all our workplaces, especially education in primary school and health, to help check the vice of absenteeism.
The situation runs out of hand in Omoro, Lamo and Padel districts, which operate without a district hospital.
This concern has been raised several times, made several times to ministers and key government officials. Up to this very moment, we are still operating with the help of Health Center 4, which is still getting revitalized.
On the other hand, health centers in Lamo, Amuru, Agago and Omoro are being upgraded.
Lower Juan Health Center 2 was what you are seeing behind me. But when we turn in front, you see a different picture of Lower Jonah, and we've invested 500 million. And we are not going to stop here. We will also upgrade Lakwarumel Health Center 2 in Koro Sub-County to Health Center 3.
There's a construction of maternity ward and other facilities there, which started in April. But up to now, it's at foundation level. The contractor is never seen. It's not the district that awarded the contract. So, handling it like me, who is a government supervisor, is very difficult.
Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
And at least I'm happy of realizing that the first contractor is out and another one is on board.
Now, as part of corporate social responsibility, staff of Uganda National Roads Authority has donated incubators to Mulago National Referral Hospital acute ward to be used in reducing the increasing premature deaths. The Director Legal Services, UNRA, Mary Kamuli-Kutesa, who represented the Executive Director, Alan Kajina, handed over the incubators to the Deputy Executive Director, Mulago, Dr. Vidabwa Male Doreen. Staff.
Thank you. I think I would have done a great job. I'd like to thank you very much for this thought. I understand the UNRA staff. It's not the authority, but it's UNRA staff.
Individuals, yes.
Yes. We thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts for having thought about us. And it is a very good timing. You know, the Bible says that there is a time for everything, isn't it? In Ecclesiastes, I think you know that chapter. There's a time for everything, but you could not have timed this any better. You know, God's ways are different from ours, and He always makes things the right way. Because at this moment we are trying to get ISO certified, and we are in quality improvement. And actually, one of the areas we have to improve is equipment. Because if you have the right human resources, and the environment is right, and the equipment is not right, then there is a problem, isn't it? So when you come in at this time, we feel very, very happy about it. And I think, yes, this may not be enough for the hospital use. But I'm sure it will save not one life, but several lives in the course of this time. And who knows, maybe the persons that will save will be the ones to save others and the EDs of Europe tomorrow and the presidents of this country. That's a great thing. That's the most human thing that anybody can do to save a life. I applaud you, really, colleagues and others, which is the basic
And over 200 opposition youth mobilizers from Rwenzori region have crossed from FDC and People Power to the National Resistance Movement Party, promising to lead in spreading the wealth creation mobilization. They were welcomed by Justice and Constitutional Affairs Minister Kahinda Otafire, who also used the event to advise other youth not to associate with opposition politicians who are backed by Western powers. Otafire was flanked by Kabarole District Woman MP Sylvia Rwaboko.
People power on the audio.
Secretary. Bad people are one of the reasons why we had gone, and that we know them, and that we have come back to our party. We are going to tell them to stop being bad.
Bobby Wine is misleading people, calling his group People's Power. People's Power. People's Power is derived from the ballot box and exercised by the LC1 chairperson. If you want to know the base of people's power is the LC1 chairperson. And that chairperson derives his or her authority from the ballot box. And we shall guard that people's power using the people's army and air force. Our Bobby Wayne, our guy. He's a very good singer. I like his music. Even in my car, praise CDs. Fantastic. Very good composer, very good music. He's my friend. But he knows much about the music and very little about management of society.
Baitu bakaba n'abagonze ensonga zaabo zimanyiriru kwiha eki kyabayireho ebintu bingi ebihindwirwe kandi naitwe nicyo twagarukire cyankwanzi twagamba tugenda mu maiso na NRM na Museveni agende mu maiso abebembezi abarungi baramuliza abantu babo.
In business news, over 1,000 high school students will this weekend converge at Gayaza High School for a week for agribusiness skilling initiative. Now in its 6th season, the farm is hailed for creating awareness about the benefits of agribusiness within the school farms, encouraging peer networks and identifying the youth potential.
In farming enterprises and value addition can enhance food security and address the unemployment crisis. In Uganda, agriculture accounts for at least 70% of employment and provides half of all exports and 25% of the gross domestic product. But the youth who are below 30 years seeking employment form about 77% of the total population and can provide the manpower required to boost agriculture and earn from it.
Uganda is known to be the most enterprising country in the whole world, where the majority enterprises agriculture. So, and of course, at the same time, some time back somebody did some math, looking at all sectors and deciding which sector, if you concentrated on it, can form the largest number of jobs. Agriculture was tops. The calculation went to 30,000 jobs. If you do your agriculture properly, you can create up to 30,000 different jobs.
Through organizing the annual farm camp that is now in the 6th edition, AVC Foundation, Gayaza High School and partners hope to change the mindset of youth towards agriculture.
This is very common in schools that we may call the top-notch schools, where students feel that agriculture is not an activity that should be done by somebody that has gone to school. But in Gayaza, when we talk about the farm, it excites the girls.
We are looking at the informal sector, skilling this youth to have marketable, employable skills in agribusiness. But we realize that if we don't target the young students, the young youth who are in school, we may not, this may not be sustainable, because these are the future generation of Uganda.
Over 1,000 students from 100 schools and their teachers will participate in this year's annual camp at Gayaza that runs on the theme Youth in Agriculture, Learning to Do, Doing to Learn. Dennis Igoa and Robin Yoso for UBC Business.
An Iranian ship held by Gibraltar since July on suspicion of transporting oil to Syria has left port. Marine tracking shows the tanker moving east into the Mediterranean and lists Kalamata in Greece as the destination. Now, earlier, Gibraltar rejected a request by the U.S. to again seize the ship, which has changed its name from Grace 1 to Adrian Daria 1. The U.S. made the last-minute request on Friday, a day after Gibraltar lifted its detention order. It said it could not comply with Washington's request to issue a new detention order because the U.S. sanctions against Iran did not apply in the EU. Tehran said it was ready to dispatch a naval escort to the Adrian Daria 1. The British flag tanker seized in July remains in Iranian hands. There had been speculation of a swap if Grace 1 was freed, despite official denials. A spokesperson for the Iranian Foreign Ministry said on Monday that they were waiting for a court order before the possible release of the ship, but said there was no connection whatsoever between the two ship seizures.
Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet.
And all is set for the 2019 Castlelight Uganda Open Golf Championship that tees off on the 26th of this month at Chigo Golf Course. Unlike before, international golfers will dominate the list of players with an increase of prize money for the professionals. Amon Ngabo reports.
Imagine playing competitive golf on the shores of the biggest lake in East Africa, Lake Victoria. The Chigo Golf Course acquired a license to host international golf tournaments last year, and with no doubt the 18-hole golf course has the right to host its first Uganda Open Golf Tournament. The tournament that starts on the 26th of this month with the Junior Open has so far registered the highest number of foreign golfers to compete. For 15 days, the juniors, the amateur golfers, the ladies and the professional golfers will compete at a challenging layout course that has water hurdles.
This year about the Uganda Open is the fact that it's just being held on the shores of Lake Victoria, at the Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and Spa. So this course is the first international standards golf course that we're having in Uganda, and that obviously brings in a big attraction for foreign players. Secondly, as usual, we have the prize money for the pros, for the professionals, and this prize money will be the equivalent of 50,000 United States dollars. We obviously pay this out in Uganda shillings. So this will vary between 185 to 200 million shillings is what we've budgeted for the pros. So that's the main attraction that is bringing the foreign players to Uganda in respect of this event.
On the list are golfers from the USA, Canada, Ethiopia and Zambia, while many are coming from Kenya for points in their ongoing safari tour.
To give you a history of the safari tour was a tour created in Kenya to encourage the local pros in Kenya to get more money by playing events in Kenya, and also make it as a qualifier for the Magical Kenya Open, which is a European tour event. We started talks last year on this to extend this to Uganda, because when you look at the numbers, the largest number of foreign players coming for the Uganda Open are actually Kenyans. So we eventually agreed that we extend the tour, the safari tour to Uganda. So we shall be having 3 legs of the tour in Uganda, starting off with the Uganda Open, and the Uganda Open with its prize money makes the tour, this leg of the tour, the largest in as far as prize money is concerned and as far as points are concerned.
Despite entry still open for this week, the course can only accommodate 200 golfers at a time. $50,000 has been set aside in prize money for professional winners, while the amateurs have lots of prizes to win. Uganda's Ronald Otile is defending the title he won last year in Entebbe when he beat Kenya's John Kalichu by a stroke. Ngabo Amon, reporting for UBS TV.
A new dawn that will resurrect Uganda's football prowess has been witnessed upon arrival of El Cambio Soccer Academy. Based in Masaka, the academy has started on talent identification, growth and progression to better leagues. John Sentamo has the details.
Former national team assistant head coach Matiarole has applauded the administrative structures at El Cambio Soccer Academy. He says that this academy, which has started work in Uganda, has signs of operating professionally in pursuit of promotion of talent.
They are starting from the alphabetical chart of football. That is starting from A to Z. A big number of academies in Uganda. There have been some, they are briefcase academies. Some they don't have qualified coaches. Everybody who comes in can create a way of putting an academy. But this one, the moment you consider their program, yeah, they're on the right track.
The academy will handle children through all processes of life, including providence of education, by using talent to secure scholarships.
We need a lot of materials, first of all. We need materials so that all the academy have the right foundation, you can say. Most places you find an academy having 20 children with one ball, and it's not enough. And then, of course, knowledge. We need to know what we do and why we are doing it, having a clear passion and vision and knowing how to execute it. I think those things could help Ugandan youth a lot.
It has started work in Masaka with promise to send scouts across the country to tap talent they plan to harness. It has roots in Spain, from where it draws the word El Cambio, which means change. John Sentamo reporting.
Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet. The long line hassle. With 1xBet, the power of placing the perfect bet is at your fingertips. Bet anytime from anywhere. Best of all, payment is instant. Place your bet on whatever you choose. Virtual games, bet games, sports, and even live betting. Winning has never been this simple. Bet with 1xBet.
Advanced gaming is regulated by the Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board. Betting is addictive and can be psychologically harmful, and it's only eligible to persons above 18 years of age.
And with that, let's quickly have a recap of the headlines. Chief Justice Batka today inaugurates task force to look into allegations of corruption. Ministry of Health retooling health workers on infection prevention of Ebola. On the international scene, detained Iranian ship released. And in sports, Uganda Open heads to Serena Chico. Well, that does it. Rod Ngonzi on sign language, Mugalu Mohammed will leave you with the weather update. Have a lovely night.
We started the day with sunny intervals in most parts of the country, but then later in the afternoon we had showers both in the northern and eastern parts of Uganda. I'm Daphne Kavasita from Uganda National Meteorological Authority bringing to you the weather update. In the last 24 hours, Soroti reported the highest amount of rainfall, and this rain really caused some effect in areas of Soroti of 70.2 millimeters, and then Gulu had 57.2 millimeters. Toro reported the lowest of 8.7 millimeters. Checking with the satellite image over Africa, it shows that the rain belt is still in the northern part of the country. That's why we're having rains in the northern part of Uganda, and we're also benefiting from the winds that are coming from the Indian Ocean towards our country, causing the rains that we're having in eastern part of the country. Though we are being affected by the high pressure center that is over land, blowing in dry dust winds, causing the hazy conditions that we are having in the southern part of Uganda. For tomorrow, we are expecting to start the day with sunny intervals in most parts of the country, but then later in the afternoon we're expecting showers in the northern and around Lake Victoria and eastern part of Uganda. Sunny intervals in other parts of the country. We're expecting temperatures to rise to 27 in the northern around Lake Victoria, but then in the eastern and western we're expecting temperatures to rise to 28 and then 30 degrees in Kasese. Going beyond Uganda, we're expecting Juba and Lagos to have showers, and then sunny conditions are expected in Dubai and Paris with temperatures rising to 42. And then in Kigali, we're expecting sunny intervals with temperatures rising to 28. Thanks for tuning into UBC. Have a blessed night.